All right, how's it going, everybody? My name is Randy Wooters with Randy Explains Real Estate Business Consulting. Today, we're going to be talking about a specific topic to help with listings, really, essentially, really double your business, triple your business, quadruple your business in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, just depending on how many times you implement this process. Today, we're going to be talking specifically about something I call mega geo farming. And what we're going to be looking at is the 7 steps in order to dominate an area, okay? So we're going to dominate an entire neighborhood and get leads for years to come. I developed a strategy that will ensure you become the favorite realtor in the neighborhood. You'll generate more listing and actually subsequently buyer leads from that neighborhood than any other realtor. And the question is how? And I'm going to teach you how to do that in the next 15, 20 minutes. I'm going to try to keep it short and so that you can dominate the area, okay? If that is interesting to you, stick around. I promise this will be worth it. Take some notes, go back, rewind. If I'm talking too fast, I'm just going to keep trucking, okay? All right, so what I want you to keep in mind, though, is I don't want you to start on this plan or start anything until the entire plan is in place before you start day one, okay? So we're going to get all the things in place that we're going to talk about before even launching the geo farming, okay? And at the end of the presentation, we'll discuss in detail how to get the fundings, how to get the funding right before you even start, okay? All right. So here's kind of an overview. We're going to dig into each one of these things in the coming slides. So day one, the mail out, number one, these are the 7 steps, by the way. The mail out, phone call, door knocking, door hangers at the same time. Mail out number 2, announcement flyer, the event, and thank you card. All right, we're going to rinse and repeat this a few times in a year. Now we're going to dig into why, what, who, where, when, all the good stuff for each one of these steps. All right, so the first thing you're going to do is a mail out. A mail out is no new thing, okay? In fact, none of the things that we're going to be talking about, except for one, are going to be brand new things that you've never heard of. It's just that we're going to do them in conjunction with each other as a kind of assault on a neighborhood. All right. Doing one mail out is fine. It's great. It's probably not going to have any ROI. But when you couple it with other touches that we're going to be doing, this mega geo farming in 7 steps is going to pound a neighborhood and put your face in front of them so many times that they won't even know any other realtor by the end of this, okay? That's a lie. Of course, everybody has like 3 to 5 realtors in their back pocket, but they're going to only think of you when they think about real estate. On the right, you might see some examples that I throw out here. You don't have to copy them. I want you to make your own. The idea, though, is that you have something to go based off of. So what you're going to do is establish yourself with the first mail out. Here's the critical part about this first mail out. First, you have to identify the right neighborhood. Hopefully you live in a neighborhood, and if you don't, it's okay. But hopefully you live in a neighborhood between, I'd say 350 to 500 homes. You can even go as low as 250. But obviously the more doors, the better. But I do think there's a limit. And it's because of money and trying to really engage with, more than 500 homes is going to be really tough to do on a consistent basis. All right, so the mail out should only introduce you as the realtor. This is not a solicitation for somebody to buy or sell a home with you. I'm going to repeat that. This is not a solicitation. This is just, hey, a friendly announcement. I'm here. I live here. We love this neighborhood. And if there's anything I can do to help, great. Okay, that's it. Really short, simple, your face. You have to include your face. And the reason is because later on, when we knock on their door or when we hold an event, they should be able to recognize your face. Oh, you're that guy I keep seeing on the mail outs. Okay, they need to recognize your face. Make sure it's warm, it's friendly, you're smiling. Have somebody else double check your photo. Make sure that it checks all of those boxes. People, whether they want to or not, they're prejudging before anything. They are prejudging, do you look friendly, approachable? Can I talk to you? Is this somebody I should be intimidated by or scary or creepy, okay? Or even like over sexualized. I've seen some women post some realtor photos that are just it's, you don't want somebody to view you like that in the first introduction. It needs to be warm, friendly, somebody that you would even see in your neighborhood. Okay, nothing too shiny and like glamour shots, nothing like that. Okay, okay, maybe mention something about yourself on the postcard, maybe a memory you have in the neighborhood. Okay, something like that. Logo, who you are, but you're not soliciting. Cool. That's just an example. I wanted to blow it up so you could see. I added a little, my wife and children just love our local park. Now, if I was doing this, I would actually put the name of the park. We have a little park by my house. It's called Fred Lee Park. It's named after a guy, Fred Lee. And I would say, we just love Fred Lee Park. Okay, that's going to trigger something like, oh, wait, they are local. They are here. That there's something about community. There's something about neighbors. All right. All right, number 2, the phone call. This is the scariest part, and this is the part that everybody tries to adapt the program and say, I'll do all of these except call them or except door knock. It won't work. I need all steps completed because this is not a single attack. This is an assault from all angles. You are touching these people 7 times. I'm going to show you this. Okay. And if you are too afraid to do this, you probably need to go ahead and not renew your real estate license. And I say that from a loving heart. Get over it. Get over it. Get over the phone call. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, send. Hit the send button. Hey, my name is Randy. How are you doing? Right? Just make it simple. I have scripts if you want them. But again, this is easy because it's not a solicitation. So this actually, and I have this on my slide, you don't have to worry about the DNC, the do not call list. Why is that? Because you're not selling anything. That's for solicitations. You're not selling anything. Okay? Some of you guys might disagree with me, but listen to me. This is all about connecting and making a human-to-human connection. Hey, I just moved to the area. I'm a new realtor in town. Or, I live in your I've been living in your neighborhood for 20 years, or whatever it is. You're just introducing yourself. Okay? Just introducing, pick up the phone and call them. Another thing you can do is you can check to see if they received your mail out introduction. All right. Hey, just wanted to see if you received my mail out. I sent it last week. Just making sure it's getting to all the right places. Ha ha ha, go into a different conversation. You live right down the road from me. I might have seen you even out front, or we took a walk with the kids last night. Whatever. Strike up a conversation, not about real estate, unless they ask. If they ask, fair game. Okay. All right. I did put a thing on here. You can purchase neighborhood leads if you don't know how to skip trace. You can actually just go to Mojo. I don't have any affiliate with Mojo. I don't make any money on this, but it's one of the products you can use. You can go to RedX, Vulcan 7, whatever. And this is just the one that I used and it worked. The dialer was 99 and the neighborhood search leads were 49. Okay. Very affordable. You can cancel it after 1 month if you think it's horrible or you didn't use it. Okay. The next step, design a door hanger first. Okay. Have them printed nice and glossy, really simple. Again, I keep going back to this. You're not soliciting. You're not soliciting. You know those neighborhoods that say no soliciting? Guess what? That's not you. You're not soliciting. You might disagree with me. You might say, well, that's a fine point. That's like right on the edge. You're right, it is. But if somebody comes back to you, you're not soliciting. You don't have anything to sell them. You don't have any sales pitch to give them. You're just having a conversation. So this is actually 2 strategies combined. You're going to walk the neighborhood. Hopefully it's your neighborhood anyways, and you literally walk it, with your kids, your family, whatever. But what you're going to do is walk the neighborhood, knock at the doors. This might take you multiple days, evenings, might even take a couple of weeks if it's a large neighborhood. Okay. If they answer the door, hey, my name is Randy. I live down the street with my wife and our kids. We love the local park. I just want to let you know that, I'm in real estate. And if you ever have any needs, cool. If not, totally fine. And then you hand them the door hanger and you walk away. If the conversation starts, you stay for the conversation. Don't be so on a mission that you just leave the conversation. Okay. By the way, I do like being on a mission, but if the conversation goes somewhere, talk, be personable, be warm, friendly. Okay. If they're really weird and creepy, find a way to end the conversation and move on to the next. But the more conversations, the better. Again, you're not trying to sell anything. You're not trying to say, hey, you're looking at listing your house? Don't talk about listing their house. Don't talk about buying houses unless they bring it up. Okay. Read their body language, no sales pitch. Okay. And don't overshare and don't overstay your welcome. If you can tell they're kind of walking backwards to their door to close it and stuff, cool. See you later. Have a great day. Hand them the door hanger. Okay. That way they've got something and they had the mail out already and you've already called them. You can see how this is starting to build up. Cool. That's just an example of the door hanger that I have. It's effective, short, sweet, to the point. There's no sales pitch on here. It just says real estate needs. Cool. And also look at the top, your neighborhood realtor. I live here. I live here, guys. This is my neighborhood. Cool. Who doesn't like to help their neighbor? All right, step number 4, the mail out. This is the second mail out. Very similar to the first, except this one now does have a solicitation. Okay. But by now, they've seen the first mail out introducing. You've called them introducing, making sure they got the first mail out. You've knocked doors. You've talked to folks. You've given door hangers. Now you've got another mail out, and this is spaced out. And I already went through the days, but I'll go through the days again in just a minute. This one's a little bit different though. It's going to be the first time you're actually soliciting their business in a tactful way. Give me a call to get an expert valuation on your home. Okay. Some people might be thinking about listing. Maybe they're not. Maybe they were never thinking about it, but now they are. Okay. Again, you're just establishing yourself as the expert in the field. You've got your phone number, your website, and maybe you're piquing their interest. Wonder what your house might be worth in this crazy market, right? Again, very similar branding. It needs to all be the same. Don't change up your colors every time because it needs to be consistent. People already threw away your first one. Okay. But now they're getting another one that looks similar, but has a question. Okay. All right. That's just an up close of that same one. And by the way, you can design these on Google Slides. The actual mail out can be designed on Google Slides. It's a high def resolution. You can save it as a PDF, PNG. Don't do a JPEG. It's not a high resolution, but Google Slides, perfect. Okay, step 5. We're almost there, guys. This, like I said, short and sweet. The announcement flyer. Okay, the announcement flyer will be either of an open house that you already have, because now you've hit them several times. Maybe you even have a listing already. Okay, that could be awesome. And that if that happened, great. Now you've got an open house to talk about. You're announcing, I've got an open house. That flyer goes to everyone. Okay. Now it could be you, or it could be some teenagers. It could be friends, family members. It could be the kids, whoever, but you're going to need some help passing out the flyers, and you're just going to leave the flyer. You can fold it and put it in the door crack or whatever. Now, I put a little disclaimer in here. Be sure to follow HOA restrictions and local laws and regs when it comes to flyering a neighborhood. All right. Some are super strict. I've run into this as well. Some will actually fine you. So it just depends. Call the HOA if you're not sure. Seriously, call them. Hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm looking to do. I have an open house. What are the rules? Okay. And if you can't do it that way, find a different way to do find a different way to kind of let people know, hey, I've got this open house. Maybe it's a Facebook really narrow targeting, maybe half-mile Facebook ad or something like that. All right, so what should the flyers look like? This is just a templated one from EXP Marketing Center. My brokerage has this. I'm sure a lot of brokerages have this, where it's just pre-designed. Change some lines. Let them know the address. And if you've got partners or whatever, this one, this person's not my actual partner on this flyer. It's just a made up, person. As an example, it doesn't matter if it's black and white or full color. It just depends on your budget. You need info about the event and what feels right for that event. If it's a broker open house, put the information about the house and why they would want to go see this house. Maybe they got a stunning pool, fire pit. Maybe the kitchen is amazing. They have to see it in person. Okay, and make it appropriate for the right neighborhood. If you're in a high class neighborhood, make the flyer high class. If it's, middle class, I mean, you don't have to go nuts. Remember that 100% of these flyers will end up in the garbage. 100%. I know that's sad, but it's going to happen. Okay. And even if they did like it and they looked at it, it's still going to go in the garbage. Okay. So don't get too connected. Number 6. So we talked about flyering for the events, right? So the announcement flyer. Now we've actually got 2 different kinds of events, actually multiple types of events. Now we have to actually plan and do the event. Okay. So what are the different options for events? Obviously, if you can do an open house, that's the best because you actually have a listing in that neighborhood and you want people to come to that listing, to that open house. Now I recommend what's called the mega open house. You can look, I've actually kind of begged, borrowed, and stole this from other, really high achieving, experts in the field. You got guys like Brent Gove, Kyle Whistle has a fantastic open house method, but the mega open house is an all-day event. Okay, all-day event, food, drinks, appropriate for the time of day, right? Breakfast, lunch, afternoon snacks. Be careful about alcohol. Some brokerages don't allow it, and some states prohibit it as well. As a realtor, you should not be consuming alcohol while on the job. I don't know why I have to say that, but I'll say it. Do your research. If you're serving like mimosas or cocktails or whatever, figure out if you can do that in your area. You can be creative. Include outdoor games, cornhole, bounce house, something that will draw the right type of people to the right type of house. And I put an example here. If you feel like it's a family home, now we're not discriminating, obviously. We can't tell people it's a family home. It might be a family home, or it could be one person wants to live there and just have a huge house. But think about that and be purposeful on who your target market is. And make sure you order your signage, feather banners all ahead of time, 2 to 3 weeks. Allow them to come in and be prepared for the open house. You don't want to start one and have it all advertised and you don't even have your stuff for it. Have it all ahead of time. Okay, so option 1 is hold a mega open house. This is unlike any open house anyone's ever seen, ever been to. And you might say, Randy, why the heck do I need to stay there all day? You're not the average realtor. You want to be the 1% and have what only the 1% have? Do what the other 99% are not willing to do. They're not willing to go to an open house all day. Okay. Do you want 20, 30, 40, 50 buyer leads to come through that house? Stay there all day. Don't do the 2, 3 hour, 4 hour open house. 9 to 5. You got breakfast snacks, lunch snacks, and afternoon. Be there, advertise it, have plenty to do, bring friends and family, fill the house, fill the yard, have so many cars parked out front. They can't help but stop and go, what the heck is going on there? Okay, mega open house. Option number 2, if you don't have a listing and you don't have an open house to do, don't worry. You still have a flyer to hand out because you're going to create an event, a community event. Okay, this is where your creativity will really come in handy. Okay, you can see the slide. There's lots of stuff on the slide. I'm not going to read it all. You can go back, you can pause, you can read, but just take a look at a few of these items. Maybe you can have a food truck night, where you have food trucks, ice cream trucks, maybe bounce houses, pool party, some kind of community service project, maybe picking up trash, building a park in your local area, fixing a trail. And that's going to take some planning. I mean, these things take some work. Maybe a live event. Maybe you've got a local park and you can hire a band to come in and do some covers or something. You can organize runs and festive yard and all kinds of cool things. A community yard sale, a rummage sale. Look at some ideas. Google more ideas. I don't want this to just be like the only things you can do. Here's what you're going to be the one that is the host with the most or the hostess with the mostest. And everybody's going to look to you as like, who the heck put this on? Oh, it's my local neighborhood realtor, the person that's already sent 2 mail outs, talked to me on the phone and knocked on my door. And I see them walking with their kids and their dog in my neighborhood, right? You're establishing yourself as the brand, as the realtor, as the friend, as the neighbor. And you're going to show that you care about this neighborhood, and you're going to show up big time. These events need to be planned meticulously, get everything going in order, people assigned to different tasks, different jobs. This will be something unique that nobody's ever seen. Okay, 9 times out of 10. You see my example of a flyer. Again, I pulled that off of EXP Marketing Center. Adapt it, change it, do whatever. Throw your title company on there or whoever your sponsor is for the event. We'll talk about funding here in a second. Get creative, guys. All right, last but not least, this is the 7th step. You're going to send every single person in that neighborhood, every address, every home, a handwritten thank you card. All right, I put a little parentheses here. It does not have to be you that writes it. Spend an afternoon and recruit some teenagers, friends, family members to help you write them. You can pay them, or you can pay somebody on Fiverr. If you haven't gone to Fiverr, just Google it. It's fantastic. But you want to be sure that it's handwritten, not by a machine, and not printed. People are not stupid. They can tell, just like you can tell if you get a handwritten card from somebody. Also, even better if you can remember a conversation you had with them, which will be very tough to do. But if you can, try to add that in there, especially people that you know in the neighborhood that you've talked to a few times. Or let's say somebody has an amazing yard or landscaping. You can include stuff like that in this thank you card. But here's what you're going to focus on. Thank you for attending the event. And even if they missed the event, and if you weren't able to make it, don't worry. We're going to have another one in a few months. Don't say an exact time. Even if you do have a date picked out, don't tell them, because if you do have to change it or something happens or whatever, you want to have some flexibility there. But then let them know you'd love to have them on the next event. You'd love to see them again on the next event. Include your name, number, email, and a small pic of yourself on the card. This is actually a bad example. This one doesn't have a small picture. But again, facial recognition. They will not remember your name, but they will remember your face. It's just how humans work. So handwritten card is the last and final piece of the total assault and domination on this neighborhood. All right. How the heck are you going to pay for this? You might have already been thinking like, oh yeah, that sounds great, except I don't have that kind of money. Well, this is where the real legwork comes into play. You are going to partner with businesses, local businesses, lending, title, insurance, home inspection, home warranty, local contractors and builders, the local dentist, and anything you can think of. The plumber, the electrician. Local companies would absolutely love to jump in on these little community events. All right. And you give them a little share of the real estate on the flyer. Okay. Maybe a little logo, maybe a little, a catchphrase, something that adds value and their name is on it. And they can say and have pride that they helped sponsor this event. You can even create a banner, put it on one of the food trucks or on a sign. It says sponsored by, and have the 3 businesses or whatever. Okay. All right. Now this is where things going to get rubber meets the road here. Regardless if you decide to do my mega geo farming strategy, you should be building a vendor list or an affiliate or partner list, whatever you want to call it. I have a template for this. I can hand it over to you. I won't. It's free. I don't charge anything for this. It's literally just a spreadsheet, but it just organizes your thoughts. When you have a communication or start building a relationship with another business, any business, let me say that again, any business, the local diner, the doctor, the chiropractor, the dentist, the plumber, the electrician. Do I need to say this anymore? any business. You're going to put them on the list, and you're going to rank them, and you're going to put notes, any conversations you had. You're going to treat it like this is your source of truth. That's going to do a couple of things, and I can do a whole other training on vendors. But essentially, you're going to form these relationships months in advance before doing the mega geofarming assault. The reason is you're going to have to establish them as a sponsor well before you ever start doing this, because you're going to need to order stuff, order the signage, the banners, get things scheduled, the food trucks, make sure that you're doing it, like if your local park needs to be rented or booked or whatever it is, you're going to get their logo, you're going to get all the advertising in place, okay? And always make sure that you let them know that you cannot confirm or promise any return on investment. All right. Local businesses should understand that. They should know that you can't promise a return on investment, but they should also see the opportunity here. And if they're smart, they'll even join you in the event and be there, not just have their logo on it. Okay. So this should get your juices flowing here on who you can talk to. And as a side note, business owners also live in homes and are also people and are also humans that want to sell and buy. You're not soliciting them to sell and buy, but if they know you and they become friends with you, who's the first realtor they're going to think of? Also, business owners typically make more money, buy and sell larger homes. Keep that in mind for later. All right, a little bit more information. If you want to do a full training on vendor list, that'll be another training that I do. I'll do a video. I'll go through the entire process, cultivating and building those relationships, and tracking them. You can actually get so far into it that you need an entire CRM just for your business relationships. And every good real estate business owner, and notice I didn't say realtor, we're transitioning our mindset from realtor to real estate business owner. But every good real estate business owner knows you need other businesses for credibility, for sponsor, for essentially to make your mark in that neighborhood, in that community. You're linked now with these other businesses. Instantly, you have credibility, especially if they like the businesses. Okay. Eventually, you will see a net positive income from all of this, but then there's also a really cool side effect. I think this is going to be in the next training with vendors. You can actually leverage your database to your vendor partners. Okay. You can make passive income from that. Cool training, separate time. All right. Let's do some FAQs really quick and we'll wrap this up. Just a few questions. How many listings will I get from this? Absolutely impossible to tell because I don't know how many houses you're going to do in your neighborhood. Also, the implementation, if it's not perfect, if it's not right, if you did it wrong, if you adapted it to your own thing, maybe your messaging sucked, maybe you picked a horrible picture and you don't look friendly or approachable or warm, or you also didn't pick up the phone and call people, you also didn't door knock like you were supposed to, then your results will vary wildly versus somebody who implemented, executed 100% integrity for the entire thing and blew it out of the water. All right. So I'd love to give you a number. I'd love to say, oh, you're going to have 2 listings in 30 days. No idea. Okay. No idea. The reason is obvious. Your market, your level of influence, your credibility, how you execute the plan, those are all on you. Okay. I'm sure that by now you can imagine the level of effectiveness of this strategy though. All right. Same, similar question. How much money? Back to the first answer. So it's completely up to you and your implementation and your execution. How many vendors and business partners should I get? This is a good question. I would recommend for the first one, 3, maybe 5. Okay. So that means securing 3 to 5 business partners, sponsors, vendors, whatever you want to call them, for your first mega geofarming attempt. Okay. And they're each going to be sponsoring different parts of this. Okay. Maybe one of them is sponsoring the mail outs. Maybe one of them is doing the door hanger. And when you flip it around in the back, sponsored by, Home Warranty or us. Okay. Maybe the event is the platinum sponsor because it's going to cost more money. Or maybe all 3 sponsors or 5 sponsors are jumping in on the event. Okay. Try not to pit similar sponsors together like 3 different lending companies. Don't do that. Lending, title, home warranty, insurance, whatever. You get it. Okay. You'll want to start with your title company. That's just my recommendation, because the title company, if you use them and you get listings in Florida, the listing side picks the title company every time. That's just how it works here in Florida. Some states are a little bit different, but I recommend some of those things. You can see I put some other ideas: photographers, staging companies, estate sale, lawn care, contractors, renovation, whatever. Those types of businesses would love to sponsor and be on your flyers, and they get credibility for linking with a successful realtor. So you can see how it's a win-win for everybody. Number 4, why do you recommend an all-day open house? I've never done one more than 3 or 4 hours. Guess what? You're not alone. Every single realtor ever has only done one for 2, 3, 4 hours. You're going to change the game here. You're going to set a new standard, and you're going to knock the socks off of your community. You're going to flyer it. You're going to promote it. It's going to be the best open house, the most memorable open house anybody has ever been to. Food, drinks, games, music. You're going to keep something for the kids, something for the adults. It's going to be totally different than a regular open house. Think of it like a party. Think of it like an all-day house party. Okay? If you want to go search mega open house, you'll find lots of different ideas. Get creative, make it memorable. All right, number 5. Is this mega geofarming method only for experienced agents? Simple, short, no. Anyone who is brave enough to build the relationships with vendors, secure the funding, put the plan in place, and go all out on this, you will see returns on this investment for literally years to come. And what's cool is you don't have to just do it once. You can do it multiple times. In fact, I recommend in your first year, 2 to 3 times in that first year, and then you can back it off to just once a year in that neighborhood. And you can do more than one neighborhood. That's what's cool. Here's that next question. I jumped the gun a little bit. How often should I do the mega geofarming? One neighborhood, start with one, at least 350 to 500 doors. 2 more times in that single year. So 3 times total run of 3. And if you get it mastered, you get it down, you get something that's a system and repeatable, you can do that in other neighborhoods now. You now have a method. You have a step-by-step. You have experience. You have confidence. Now go do it in other neighborhoods. And so let's say September is your neighborhood. October could be another neighborhood. November could be another neighborhood. Maybe you take the next one off or whatever. You can do this and generate listing lead after listing lead after listing lead. Now, the next question might be, will I only get listing leads and seller leads? Actually, no. You will get both. Why? Because you're appealing to the person, not necessarily just their need for listing. And guess what? Usually listings have to buy. People who sell their house have to go somewhere. Okay, so you're going to get sometimes both sides of this thing. And if you have the listing, maybe you'll find the buyer. You could potentially get three or 4 sales off of one home. Think about how trickle that happens. I mean, it's like a exponential growth that happens off of that. All right. And hopefully you'll become the only realtor that everybody has top of mind. All right. Now I did have somebody, this is not on the slide, but I did have somebody ask about, instead of a mail out, what about a magnet? That's also a cool idea. Just be careful. Magnets cost a lot more than like a 35-cent mail out or a 50-cent mail out. So if you got the money and you think somebody's going to throw it on their, AC or fridge or something like that, great. Do a magnet. I think it's going to be really expensive. Just if you can find something cheap, great. Remember that most mail outs get thrown away though. So just heads up. Okay. Question is going to be, and this is real, this is reality. Do you have enough bandwidth to handle all these leads and listings and new buyers that you're going to potentially have? My guess is that within a year, you're going to need to hire somebody or partner with somebody to help you manage the oncoming leads, the buyer leads, the seller leads, and you might just be sticking with the listings, and maybe you get a new buyer's agent to help you out. Because when you do a mega open house, you should be experiencing 10, 20, 30 clients, 30 new buyer leads in one mega open house. You might say, well, that's impossible. The most I've ever heard of in any open house is maybe 2 or 3 buyer leads. That's because you do crappy open houses and don't advertise well. Once people start to get the gist of what you do for an open house, they're going to come to your open house, whether they're looking for the house or not. Okay. Mega open house, secure 10, 20, 30 buyer leads. That's going to keep a buyer's agent really busy. All right. Number 8, what if I don't get a single listing first time doing Omega Geo Farming? I got some questions to ask you first, and then we'll talk through this. Did you execute the plan fully? You're the only one that can answer that. With integrity, truly knock the doors, actually call every single home, throw a great event. That's on you. Did you do those things? If you did do those things and you didn't see results, really examine, number 2, really examine the information you're putting out there. Have someone critique the verbiage. How does it feel? What's the overall impression? Does it seem pushy or too salesy or too glossy or not glossy enough? Right? Just because you didn't see immediate return doesn't mean it was wasted time or effort or money. Okay, it could be that nobody was ready right that moment, but now you've planted a seed. And a tiny little seed can be a huge thing later, right? Number 3, round 1 may not be enough. Maybe you're completely new, nobody's ever heard of you, and maybe they don't trust you yet. You haven't done any sales. Maybe they looked you up. I don't know. Maybe they looked at Zillow and didn't see any reviews. You may have to do this multiple times. And remember, you're not in it for the sprint, you're in it for the marathon. You live here. So you're going to continue to love on your neighbors, continue to do these. And you're gonna see long-term results because you're putting in the work and you're doing what successful realtors will do. Okay. Tweak things as they go. If you think that something could be better, make it better. Number 4, you also need to have the conversation up front with your business vendors, partners, that they are not guaranteed a return right away or at all, really. They're not guaranteed at all, but surely not right away. Remind them it's a long-term strategy and a long-term relationship that we're in. Okay. And I put a little note on the side. I will be utterly shocked if you executed everything perfectly and you got 0 leads. 0 leads from this would blow my mind. Absolutely blow my mind. Because if you're doing everything right with integrity and all the way through implementation, you're going to get leads, buyers, sellers, both. Okay. And I just put a little note, don't put that negativity out there. Well, what if? That's fear mentality. Just growth mentality and go for it. Okay. Win the day, trust the process. Some helpful quotes here. The difference between the 1% and the 99% is that the 1% is willing to do what the other 99% won't do. Everybody knows there's thousands of realtors in an area and only 1, 2, 3, 4% of them actually sell all the real estate. The other ones sell 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 properties a year. That's it. The rest, the 1%, they sell all the properties, the majority. Do you want to be the 1 or the 99%? All right. I put a little quote here. Realtor says, this looks really hard to pull off. It is. It is. And if it were easy, everybody would be doing it. Nobody's doing this. When's the last time you saw a realtor do this? Probably never. This is a full out, guerrilla tactic assault. You are dominating an area. All right. So I like this next part. What you do in just a single attempt of mega geo farming, most realtors will never do in their entire career. They won't even do that much work in their entire career that you did in one single attempt. Think about that. That's putting you in the 1%. Doing things that successful realtors do. All right. The next little section, prepping is 99% of the execution of this. Get the game plan, write the list, checklist, get them done, build the relationships, establish those relationships, designing the cards, wordsmithing your messaging, recruiting new friends, family assistants to help you in a few of the steps. This will all be crucial to nail down ahead of time, because once you start, it'll be game on. And you also don't want to be planning these things. You want to be taking in the phone calls and the leads. When somebody calls you, oh, I'll get back to you in 3 weeks after I finish planning this event. Wrong. You want to see a house? Great, let's go see a house. You want me to list your house? Great, let's go list your house. You have time because you planned all this ahead of time. Okay? Invest. Invest in you. Invest in your business. Implement the plan, make the connections with your community, and build the relationships with clients and vendors. Okay? That's it. That's the whole plan. Mega Geo Farming summed up. If you want one-on-one business consulting, I'm not going to give a huge sales pitch here. I'm available. Hit me up, randyexplains.com. Okay? See you guys later.